So tri means three. So a triangle, it actually is literally saying they have three angles, which it does, but it also has three sides. So that's the first type. The next type is called a quadrilateral. And a quadrilateral is a four-sided polygon. And again, this is a quadrilateral. And you say, but Mr. Dew, I thought that was a rectangle. Well, a rectangle is a type of quadrilateral. And we'll be discussing types of quadrilaterals later on this week. Okay, but this is a quadrilateral because it has four sides. All right, by the way, quad in Latin means four, which is why if you have quadruplets, you have four children. Okay, so quad always means four. Now, the next one is a pentagon. And a pentagon is a five-sided polygon. And one of the ways you could remember Pentagon as five sides is if you've ever been to Washington, D.C., you most probably visited our Pentagon, which is our National Defense Building. And it looks something like this. And the honest truth is, it's actually not a building. It's actually like five buildings tied in together. And the reason it's five, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 buildings is because of two reasons. Number one, it's a symbolic of the strength of our national defense, which this represents, okay? And that show a five-sided building is a lot more sturdy than a four-sided. In 9/11/2001, when the terrorists attacked New York, they hit the Trade Center buildings and they collapsed. They were four-sided figures. One of the planes hit the Pentagon and it only destroyed part of it. And actually within a couple of weeks, part of the Pentagon was up and running already while they were repairing the part that it hit. Secondly, the reason it's five sides is because we have five branches of our military. And you go, five branches, what are they? Well, how about Army, Navy, Marines, the Air Force, and the last one is the hardest for people to remember, and that would be the Coast Guard. And again, there are five branches to our military. That's why there are five sides to the Pentagon. And it's called the Pentagon because it's a five-sided figure. All right, and you can remember a Pentagon is five sides from that. The next one we need to know is a hexagon. And a hexagon is a six-sided polygon. And if you want to remember that one, maybe before you worked on your bike, or maybe you helped your dad with the car or around the house, and you might have heard something called a hex nut. And a hex nut looks like this. Actually, if I could draw it, looks like that. Okay, but it does have six sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. By the way, most hex nuts have a little slot right here so that you can move the nut with a screwdriver. Or you can take a socket wrench and put it on the outside and it fits on the hex nut. And again, hex means six, so a hex nut is a six-sided polygon. Okay? The next one I want you to learn is an octagon. And an octagon is an eight-sided polygon. And I would kind of hope that most of you could guess why it's an eight-sided polygon, because an octagon comes from the same prefix oc as an octopus. And what does an octopus have? It has 8 legs. By the way, October is the 8th month. Wait, October is not the 8th month, it's the 10th month. You go, well then why did they call it October if Oct means 8. Because originally October was the 8th month. In the Roman calendar, there was only 10 months to begin with, not 12. And October was the 8th one. All right? You say, well, what happened? And I say, well, what happened is there was a great Roman emperor named Julius Caesar who conquered a big part of the world. He was a great emperor and, general. He was also very conceited, and he thought he was great. So he said, I want you to make another month and name it after me. Anyone have any idea what month was named after Julius Caesar? July. That's correct. Okay? And again, Julius Caesar was assassinated by his best friend Brutus et tu, Brute. He stabbed him in the back and betrayed him. Okay? And then his brother Augustus Caesar took over. And Augustus said, wait, if Julius had a month named after him, I want a month named after me. So guess what month was named after Augustus Caesar? You got it, August. So July and August originally weren't months in the Roman calendar, so that's why October was named the 8th month. But then when July and August were added, then it became the 10th month. But anyway, think of an octopus, if you will, has 8 legs, so an octagon has 8 sides. And the last one I want you to know is a decagon. And a decagon is a 10-sided polygon. And again, if you wanted to realize that, look at the prefix deca. What word do you know starts with deca? How about a decade? And what is a decade? It's 10 years. So deca means 10, and this is a 10-sided figure. By the way, it's very hard for me to draw a decagon. About the best I can do with that is something that looks like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Whoops. Try this, I guess. 9, 10. And again, that's a really weird looking figure, but it is a decagon because it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 sides. And again, I can't draw one of those that goes all the way out. It looks more like a circle. I can't make one with 10. Maybe you can. By the way, you might be wondering why I skipped a